Welcome everybody. I'm Nia.
I'm Nani.
And this is
Rum News!
We're back! Okay guys, get your shots ready. You know what the dealio is, right?
Yes. Let's see. I'm going to open this up so we can chat with our peeps. If I can.
And we're going to start with a very easy rum from Vicky's. We're a fellow rum friend. She distills at Severance Distilling. This is her small batch coffee rum. Let's wait for the pop. Hey. Ooh.
That was a quiet little pop, but it's a small bottle. So
It is. It's a BB bottle.
If y'all see me on my phone, it's just because I'm on the chat. Hi, Sean.
Hi, Sean.
It's just because I have the chat open up on here for us to talk to you guys and connect because we miss your face. Well, not your faces because we don't see your faces.
We miss your messages.
Yeah, we miss your communication and the chats and the back and forth and the banter. So, all right.
Okay,
everybody
cheers,
got shots?
everybody. Everybody's got their shots ready?
Shots.
Cheers. Ooh, this smells amazing.
I know, I can smell it from here. Whew.
And
I was
guys,
going like this early.
Yeah, we're warming up the chesticles.
Warm them up.
So, we were adding up the months that we've been away. Thank you to everybody that hasn't dropped off the face of the earth. I so appreciate everybody sticking through our lulls. And believe it or not, we're still not in our official recording space.
No.
This is temp space. We're here at Pixel Works in, I almost said Dallas. Okay.
We've never even been to Texas together, for sure.
But sure, we're going to take it. But we're here now because we needed like a really nice space to do rum news. Yeah. Last time, I apologize. My parents were in the kitchen, cooking, cleaning, doing all kinds of noise.
Mind you, we told them, hey, from 8 to like maybe 10 o'clock, steer clear of the kitchen. Just don't go in there. Do whatever you got to do before. No. And they just walked in, looked around, cooked, meal prepped a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, no, this is not going to work. So you guys understand, we're still at my parents'. And anyway, so today we have a couple of rums to try. I also threw in a little monkey wrench this time because I thought it'd be interesting. I brought wine. Yes. Everybody calm down. I'm not officially cheating on rum yet.
There's a reason for it.
Yeah, there's a reason for it, and the reason, if you look to the left, is the reason. So, you want to start with rum news?
Might as well. That's why we're here, right?
Exactly.
Aside from drinking and having a great time.
Unless we want to do another shot. Okay, let's wait for the first couple.
I was about to say, let's do it. Okay, so do you want to kick it off or do you want
I'll kick it off. Okay. So I'll kick it off with the fun stuff, which is Texas Rum Fest. You all know that the Rum Lab organizes all these amazing rum festivals, and the one that's coming up the closest is going to be in Dallas, hence why I have Dallas stuck in my brain. March 1st, Rum Lab. There's 2 companies on there that I was really surprised that haven't been at the other festivals, and one is La Maison Avelier, although La Maison Avelier was at the Miami Rum Congress this year, which we didn't attend.
Yeah.
But if you want to see a video of what it looked like, make sure you check out Paul's channel, Drums and Rums. He has a video where he went around the rooms. Pretty much it was the same thing that you guys saw on our video last year, plus a new section called Emerging Brands, and they had the new Palm rum from that Eric Winter actor. They had some of our smaller Floridian brands, like I think Severance was there, Gambler's Bay that you haven't tried.
No, I haven't.
And a couple of other of Isabel's rums that she's repping and companies that she's repping. So that was pretty interesting. And as far as the Texas Rum Festival, those are 2 that caught my attention. I know Andalusia is like a local Texas brand, and they make some phenomenal flavor bombs, even like whiskey or rum.
Oh.
And
Are they Spanish-based, I wonder, since Andalusia is in Spain?
No, they're in Texas.
No, but I mean, are they Spanish, like, based in the sense of, like, are they Spanish style?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe they're Spanish themselves?
Maybe.
If Rough Spirits tunes in, he has all the deets because he's been trying to get me some bottles from them because they make very small batches, and once the bottles are gone, they're gone. So that's first news. The next news I wanted to talk about, which we actually met the owner, was Rosalie Bay Distillery.
Yes.
It's a brand new distillery out of Dominica. They actually do agricole-style aged rum and ex-bourbon. And they partner with local farms in order to preserve marine life, specifically turtles. Their bottles...
Love the turtles.
I know, the loggerhead and the leatherback turtles are really important. They do a lot of conservation efforts in Dominica, but what I thought was also cool is they try to be carbon neutral, so even the bagasse, which is like the leftover of when they crush the cane, and take out all the juices, they grab that and they compost it to make fertilizer for their sugarcane.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they partner with local farms in order to pay people properly too. It is a 48% pot still rum. Okay. Their bottle's 750 milliliters. And the price tag is $87.50. I know, they're trying to preserve all the turtles and all the marine life.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna spend money, it's for a good cause. So
yeah. So apparently, all the proceeds, they had $4 million in investors in the company. All the proceeds are actually going to pay the people properly, including the multiple local farms that they partner with to get the sugarcane. Yeah, and to preserve the ocean, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, and
specifically turtles too.
I was gonna say, anybody who knows us knows we are all about the ocean, the ecosystem in general, just being green. But specifically, we have a soft spot for the ocean. A, being coastal, and B, we both have a love of the water and marine life. Half mermaid over here. My mom says I should have been born a fish because I just love being in the water. So we have a special place in our hearts for anything ocean related.
So super interesting. We actually met the owner at the Mai Kai. He was walking around, introducing himself, which was nice. Sadly, he did not give us a sample. So Rosalie Bay, if anybody has a bottle and can share some, I'd be happy to pay you for a sample. It'd be good to try it because it's a agricole style. It's very interesting.
And she loves her agricoles.
I do.
I'll try them. They're not my particular favorite.
You like aged ones, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll try it. I'll try anything.
I'll try anything once.
Let's be honest. I'll try something. Sometimes things surprise me. Like, you found a couple spiced rums that I enjoy, and I'm not a big spiced rum person, so... You never know. Might find an agricole. I like
and today I'm indulging Nani since she had to drive all the way up here to Del Rey, and I brought a lot of sweet and different and unique rums, but that are still from local distilleries that pride themselves in like the quality of the rum that they're making. So I think it could hit both the sweet and still be considered a good rum, even though a lot of these are flavored. Yeah. So I'm excited to have you try these. Yeah. Plus, I absolutely love Loaded Cannon. They're up in I think it's like kind of like in the middle between West Coast and East Coast. Yeah, Bradenton.
Yeah, it's like central-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. And the distiller, he's amazing. He's a biochemist, so he's a total nerd when it comes to stuff.
Hi, Jake.
Hi, Jake.
I can't with him.
Okay, so next rum news, and it's also kind of like a celebratory rum news. Mount Gay just turned 321 years on February 20th. So congrats, Mount Gay. You know, I'm an absolute huge fan of you. So that is amazing. And they were the first Barbadian rum brand to have a first female blender in 2019. And another crazy news about them is that they just doubled their production. That's
right. The bond, right?
Yeah, so they increased, they built an additional rick house, or basically a barrel aging house. So their production is going to go from 48,000 barrels that they're aging to 64,000 barrels. Yeah. And the other thing that was very interesting and the first of its kind in Barbados is that they're doing an underground rick house.
Oh, that's
which I was like, what? Underground in Barbados? Yeah. So, very, very cool.
I wonder if that, like, reduces having, like, the cooling costs.
Yes.
Because obviously Barbados, being a Caribbean island, is going to be hot, it's a tropical climate, so that's definitely going to reduce any kind of costs associated with cooling and keeping it more climate controlled.
That's what I was thinking too, because otherwise, why are you digging in the dirt? I don't know, but I thought it was still interesting.
Why are you digging in the dirt?
Yeah. The next news I have is Gosling's is partnering with PGA, which was really surprising and exciting to see a rum brand, especially because there's kind of like, I don't know if anybody has noticed, but there's kind of like a hype on tequila, and rum has been trailing back, is my perspective of it.
Yeah, we'll touch on that a little more when we go into rumonomics later on. So
it's really, really cool. They're actually the official rum of the PGA until 2026.
That's a big contract, you guys.
It is.
PGA, if you're not in the golf world, is essentially the NFL of golfing.
Yeah,
that's the NFL, the NBA. It's like the major leagues of golfing.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a big contract to land for a couple of years.
For sure. And Gosling's is the oldest distiller in Bermuda. They are a little bit on the sweet side of rum, but not too bad. I actually did a little bit of research for you rum snobs out there. It's only 12 grams per liter, which is not a lot or a little. Just for comparison's sake, Captain Morgan has values of in the 20s of grams per liter.
So it's kind of mid.
Yeah, it's kind of mid-range, so don't poo-poo on Goslings too much. They make tremendous dark and stormies. They actually created the dark and stormy, which is really cool. I don't play golf, but I know it seems like it's really hot out there, so a dark and stormy would definitely hit the spot with what they're calling activation spaces, where they're going to have, like, in different places of the golf courses, they're going to have their rum and cocktails, which I thought was really cool.
That is pretty awesome.
What do you have for rum news?
Well, coming back to eco-friendly and the Caribbean, so there's a company called Rum and Sargassum. I'm probably totally butchering that. It's Sargassum, Sargassum. They are a Barbadian startup, so we're back in Barbados, and they were founded by a husband and wife couple. The wife's name is Legenia. Totally gonna butcher Legend.
Allegedly.
Legena, Legend. I'm saying it with an accent, Legenia. Henry and her husband, who wasn't named, oddly enough, she's a mechanical engineer, he's a data scientist, and one of the things that they're doing is they are taking the waste that comes from the distillation process, and they're combining it with seaweed that washes up on the shore to create fuel for the cars that are there. So it's one of their ways to kind of give back to the community. They're hoping to be total net zero, and Barbados as a whole is hoping to be completely, eco-friendly by the end of the decade as an island. That's amazing. So that's one company that's doing it right. They know what's up. So they want to be completely fossil fuel free. So kudos to Legend. I'm sorry, I'm butchering the name. Legena, Henry, and her husband, who wasn't named. But he's a data scientist. She's a mechanical engineer. So all of that
geniuses at work
together. Yeah. Just goes to show what you can do when you put, the mind to good use.
When you let the scientists do their thing.
Instead of using it. Riffs and Rhythms. Hi. He said, where's that golf course?
Anywhere. It's the PGA. So
I have sargasms when I drink too much. Don't we all? I have another piece of news. Bristol Spirits, which is normally a UK company, has now partnered with US distributor Spaghetti Western Imports. Now, some of you may know Spaghetti Western. We actually met a couple of their guys at the Miami Congress last year. This is great news for us because what that means is some of the, alcohols and blends and rums that we weren't able to ever get over this way, we will now be able to locate here. Some of the ones that are going to be coming toward, and this is just some, there's going to be tons and tons. I just listed off a few. Mauritius cane juice, Caribbean collection, Jamaica 2009 DOK, some Hamden, Jamaica 1997 from the Clarendon estate. There's going to be all sorts of stuff that's going to be making its way into the U.S. soils, so be on the lookout for that.
And if Spaghetti Western sounds familiar, it's because they actually brought Australian rum to the U.S. through Dead Reckoning, the brand Dead Reckoning, and it was from that distiller that I actually visited. Kalik.
Yeah, Kalik, which we actually really liked their rum.
Yeah.
From Australia.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Another piece of news, we usually try to stay mainland, the continental U.S. and into the Caribbean, being up there right there, and we're in Florida.
Hopscotch away.
Just literally just choop choop, like right there, like you could take a boat, 60 Island, Bahamas are right there. 60 Island,
60 miles?
It's been a little while, you guys. We're a little rusty. Blame it on the shots. So this company called Vapora, we're all about the companies that are being very philanthropic, that give back to the community in any which way they can. So Vapora is a British rum company, and they started this campaign to combat the homeless problem in the UK. 100% of their profits that come from e-commerce and on-premise sales went to buying coats and cold weather clothing for their homeless population, and they actually got hand-delivered by the founders on December 23rd and 24th of 2024. Impressive. Yeah, it was really, really cool. They have 2 current rums out right now called Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Chapter 1 being a spiced rum made with, I think I would like this because it's not those usual spices that I don't like.
Okay.
So it's blood orange, nutmeg, cardamom, vanilla, pink peppercorn, and ginger. And then their second is a gold rum, which is chocolate caramel, raisins, tobacco, and vanilla. So if you see them, if you're out and about in the UK.
Support them for sure.
Yeah.
Did they say how much their bottle is?
No, it didn't say, unfortunately. But
interesting.
It'd probably be listed in pounds anyway.
Yeah.
So if you're ever out in the UK, if you're ever across the pond, support them. Clearly they're up for, doing great things for their community.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And we're all about the...
What was her name again? Sorry.
Vapora. Vapoura. Vapora.
Cool.
Saying it like a gringa. Sorry.
Oh, Riffs and Rhythms is actually Paul.
Yeah.
It's his other podcast.
Yeah.
We know Paul.
We know Paul.
It's you.
Okay, so moving on, we have Diageo. They're always in the headlines for one thing or another because they are freaking huge and they're over.
Busy.
They are all over the place. So they recently just completed a sale of Cacique to a company called Bardenay.
And Cacique is from Peru, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Spanish.
Oh, Spanish?
I believe.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it said Spain. No, Venezuelan.
Oh, okay.
Close.
That makes more sense.
Close.
Okay.
Neighboring, kind of.
Neighboring.
They're in the South America.
They're in the same continent.
They're all neighbors down there. It's literally you throw a stone and you're in the other country. So they sold it to Bardenay, which is actually, I think that's why I was thinking Spain, because they're a Spanish company. Okay. So their reason for selling was they want to, quote unquote, maintain a sharp focus on effective portfolio management. So they're very confident in what Bardenay is going to be able to do with the company, and they feel that Bardenay is going to be able to, take Cacique to the new heights and keep it moving forward. But Diageo always doing things.
Interesting that we haven't really heard of Cacique, and I've never tried it, so it'll be interesting.
If you guys have heard of it,
or tried it, that'll be interesting.
I have Phil's asking if a shot was taken. Of course, a shot was taken.
Here, I'm actually gonna take another one. Do you want another one?
Yes.
You pick. I'm doing more of the coffee rum because it's.
Really it's open, so I might as well. So you guys,
let me tell you this. This is it smells like an Arabica bean coffee,
which I still have my coffee from.
And Bic is really picky. And this is 43%, so 86 proof. It's Florida rum batch number 4.
What was the name of it? Oh, it's Severance.
Severance Distilling, and it's Vicky's coffee rum. Vicky
Essence.
Vicky mainly makes gins, like really good gins. I don't drink gin, but Phil likes gin, and he said that her gin was really, really good.
Oh, good.
But I do like her rum. She has
delicious.
a transparent rum, and then she has this coffee rum, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, get your shots ready. Cheers, everybody.
We've rambled on long enough for you guys to get another shot ready. This is our third, so if you guys haven't had one yet, you need to catch up.
Ooh, that's good.
If you see me doing that, it's warming up the chest.
Yeah, we're stretching our chest.
It's been like 10 months.
I know, we were counting, by the way. So we took a break.
Yeah,
when we first moved, and it ended up being 5 months. I know, crazy. So thank you for hanging on there, everybody.
Yeah.
And then we came back in October, and then we had to take another break
for the holidays, and
for
there was
the
just a lot
holidays.
going
And
on.
oh my God, yes, craziness. We were hoping to be in the house by now, but now it's even further delayed. That's why I was like, no, let's just get studio space and call it a day.
Yeah, so we're so happy to be with you guys.
Yes, we're back, guys.
We missed this.
We missed you all.
We're so happy to be here, and we're happy you guys are here, and of course, we missed the liquor, of course.
Yes, the shots. The news, because I felt like I was kind of like out of like
the loop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially because we hadn't been going to a lot of the congresses and the events that
are. Yeah, we have not.
So because we both just had a lot going on, so yeah. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
And I have some more rum news. So there's another Mondial du Rhum that just happened actually in Paris that I didn't know about, which I thought was really interesting. It was the 12th through the 15th of February. And it actually was really interesting because they talk about the rum ecosystem, which we both thought was really funny that they call it that. But in reality, I think it's because they really focus on the smaller brands coming from the smaller islands that are like French style.
Right.
So they focus on Réunion, Guadeloupe, Martinique, those islands. And if you really look into them, most of them are single estates. So they're really, truly a rum ecosystem within themselves.
I wonder if they're single estate because they kind of have to be, because they're so remote that it's like it would be so costly to have things shipped in and out constantly.
Yeah,
for the
and they have the sugar cane there. It'll be it's cheaper.
It'd be silly not to.
Yeah. Then the next rum news I have is Desert Diamond Distillery. It's a new distillery in Arizona that actually focuses on what their segment of corporate gifting, which I thought was really unique. So the way they work is they partner with corporations or companies that want to gift people very special bottles. So they partner with these corporations, and the corporations or companies pick a 225-gallon barrel. And then they do about 300 bottles of 750 milliliters each. And they gift their employees or they gift their clients these bottles with like a certificate and a wax seal. But honestly, I was kind of disappointed with the graphics of the bottle. Like, I'm assuming you're buying a full barrel, it's not going to be cheap, right? My understanding of buying a barrel, like at least in Kentucky when we asked, you're paying $10,000 a barrel.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming rum is not far off from that.
Right.
So imagine paying all that money and then you get the bottle, and yes, it was wax dipped, and you do get a cool certificate, and whoever keeps the barrel gets the barrel, and the barrel has a little metal plaque and whatever. But the bottle and the design of the bottle was very
label, it left a lot to be desired. It was very,
especially the design.
Yeah, it was very blasé, very like high schooler made it in their graphic arts class, like as a project or something.
The front, it kind of looked like when you used to like burn paper and I don't know, maybe like write a love letter to your significant,
like a parchment, like it was like when you would age it with like tea or something, and
burn it on the edges, kind of like that. And then the lettering was kind of weird too. It was very basic.
It seemed like they don't have a good theme going. It's not very cohesive, so it's like they threw a bunch of ideas together and decided to see what stuck. Kind of a thing. Yeah, it was.
That makes sense.
It just looked messy and not cohesive.
I spent about, I'm going to say 20 to 30 minutes on the website. It didn't talk about the aging, the distillation, the fermentation. It didn't have any other details besides like, contact us if you're interested. And I'm like, well, can you give me at least your basics? Like, what are you distilling? A pot still?
Like, where is it from?
Yeah.
Like, the basic information
is it molasses?
that any spirit should have on their, readily available.
Especially on their website, because they had a nice website, but after that was a complete
But I think that's
flop.
where they spent all their money.
Yeah, pretty much.
Was on the graphic design.
Pretty much. I have some really interesting rum news for label changes coming out from the TTB. the Department of Treasury actually asked the TTB to now include allergens and per servings of alcohol and calories on each label.
We're not a fan of that part. Everything else is great.
Yeah, everything else is fine. Calories, no.
They can keep.
But what I think is really interesting is, especially for smaller brands, I already know they have issues with fitting a lot of their stuff on their bottles as is. Add those additional 3 items.
It's gonna look so busy and crowded,
or
they're gonna have to remove a lot of like the history and the stories that we love to read so much, and the facts about the actual rum. So it's gonna
focus on calories that we don't care, guys. We don't care.
If we're drinking, health is not our concern in that moment at all in any way, shape, or form. Calories is the last thing on our mind if we're drinking alcohol. Come on, and that goes for any alcohol. I think who's counting calories? Just open up the bottle and let's keep it moving.
Some psychos out there. And then the last rum news that I had, what I absolutely love, is the news of the first geothermal rum distillery. Yes, guys.
You heard that right.
First geothermal. It's a Cornish geothermal distillery. They're calling their rum product Celsius, which I thought was funny. They actually pride themselves on being already carbon neutral, and they do rainwater harvesting, CO2 capture, and passive solar energy, which I think it's amazing. But they're planning on not only opening a rum distillery, they're also going to open a visitor center with tours and all. So it'll be very interesting. It's Cornish, so it's in the UK, and I'm excited to potentially go and check it out. Yeah. We were joking around last night when we were meeting about what we were going to talk about. I was saying notes of sulfur and eggs on the rum. Hopefully not.
I really hope not. That's just like a death sentence for any distillery.
For sure. But as soon as you say geothermal anything, that's what I think of. Like sulfur and like metally.
Hopefully pleasantly surprised on that front.
Yeah. Who knows? What else do you have for rum news?
I just have a couple more pieces. This one is super, 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 super wicked from New England. Exciting. Raising glasses. So we've mentioned raising glasses many, many times on the channel. She's had them several times going down into the Caribbean.
Oh my god, their Thai rums are so good.
Like, even just looking at the bottles, it's so fun to see the different designs on the bottles. If you have a second, go on Raising Glasses website and just admire the different bottles. They're just so fun to look at. Super colorful, very thematic. So they are actually partnering with, now funny enough, neither of us knew this. Raising Glasses is actually from Boston, so shout out to New England. Colors of Rum partnered with Raising Glasses to bring Colors of Rum to the U.S. into 42 different states. That's starting next month, starting in March, so pretty much this weekend is March already.
And if you're not familiar with Colors of Rum, definitely check them out. They had the best rum when we went to the Miami Rum Renaissance, which is in Coral Gables. They had the best rum and the best booth. Our friend Kobe and Kim were repping them, and we got to try some.
Oh, they were? That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we went and we visited them, and we tried all their delicious. They had this amazing rum that was aged in Pedro Jimenez barrels. They had some Guyana rums. They have really aged rums. They're super premium.
Which I'm about to mention. Yeah. So some of the rums, their rums are coming in from Bedford Park. So this is, again, there's a whole list that if you go onto the website, you can see a whole list of the different rums that are coming. But just a few to mention, they have a 14, a 15, and a 16-year-old four square rum from Barbados, 23-year-old rum from Guadeloupe, 4-year-old from Guyana, Clarendon, Hampden, Long Pond Distilleries. They have stuff from Jamaica that's coming, 24-year-old Coroni from Trinidad. Again, guys, that is literally just to name a few. They have so many rums that are now going to be available coming this month in March that'll be available here in the U.S. So that's super exciting, something to look forward to. And again, that's going to be available in 42 of the continental United States. It didn't list which states, so if you're in one of the 8 mainland states,
if you're in a dry state, you already know you're not going to get it. So you have to message me, and I'll send you some hot sauce.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, That's probably going to be like South Carolina, some like
Utah.
those like Midwest type of states. If you're not in one of the 8 states, then hopefully you can get your hands on a bottle.
Or come visit us, and you can buy all.
Because Florida is all up. Because we'll touch upon it in Rumonomics, but literally
wet.
The one state that kept getting mentioned in the articles about Rumonomics was Florida, and in Florida, and in Florida, and in Florida. So I think because we're so close to the Caribbean, it's like easy to compare us as like one of the main consumers of rum and main.
And as we talked about before, we already surpassed California, so they can go shove it.
And in my last piece of news that can bring us into Rumonomics is we can go into, she's mentioned this a million times before, why it's super important for a distillery, but St. Lucia distillers were able to obtain their GI, their geographical indication for rum. Now this is going to allow for better quality. It's just better all around for and that's the St. Lucia across the board. All the distillers were able to get GI. She's mentioned before why it's super important. I don't know if you want to go into that a little bit, but we're going to roll into Rumonomics. So, I thought that there wasn't much on the article, surprisingly, about that. It just kind of talked about St. Lucia distillers, but they were able to get their GI, so that's great.
But if you want details on the specific GI for St. Lucia, I would go to Rumwonk, which is Matt Petrick's website. I'm sure he'll have all the details, but typically with GIs, they basically say that they have to get the sugarcane from St. Lucia. I'm not saying I haven't gotten into detail of but typically GIs they get the sugarcane from the country that they're at, they distill there, they age and bottle. So it stimulates the local economy. They hire local people.
Quality is better.
Yeah.
So
and typically, if you see on the bottle that it says rum from St. Lucia or St. Lucian rum, it truly means that the entire process was handled in St. Lucia. It also helps the local economy. Because when typical companies take a rum and then they age it elsewhere, you lose that money of the company having to age at another location and bottled by different people versus people in St. Lucia. So it really stimulates the economy all around.
Yeah. So great news for them. St. Lucia, if you've never been, I've personally never been. I hear it's beautiful. I've been to the other islands around that area. I've heard it's beautiful, beautiful, just even from seeing pictures. I've had friends that have gone.
And their rum is so good. They do some crazy distilling and crazy aging blends.
Yeah.
And what's really surprising too about St. Lucia distillers is that they have really accessible rums.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Their bottles are like, okay, I know this economy absolutely sucks, but we're talking about like a nice aged bottle for like $30, $40.
Yeah.
And even their Admiral's Reserve bottles, which are, I'd say, on the 10 plus years age, they're $110, which in these days where you're seeing bottles go for $1,000 around that age.
Yeah.
I think $110 is pretty accessible.
Yeah,
you know
especially
what I mean?
for if you're somebody who enjoys, good quality rum, but you don't want to break the bank. $110 is pretty, as you said, accessible.
Yeah, especially when you're doing aging on the double digit side.
Yeah, exactly.
Super impressive.
Exactly.
So we did want to touch on Rumonomics, as we always do in Rum News. And we wanted to talk about the importance of hurricanes. Yeah. Which, believe it or not, they've noticed that, for example, Hurricane Beryl really affected Ray and Nephew. So it's been scientifically proven that farms that experience hurricanes within 50 miles of a hurricane, they lose 10 to 20% production that year.
I know.
Which is a significant amount.
Huge. Yeah, there was a hurricane in 2021 that hit Louisiana, and I don't remember the name of the hurricane, unfortunately, and over about 480 square kilometers of sugarcane fields were just destroyed.
That's crazy.
That's a lot, you guys. 480 square kilometers is a huge chunk of land that just completely destroyed crops that weren't usable, unfortunately, and that sucks.
And the thing that was also devastating that they talked about in this article is that Ray and Nephew got their dunder ponds contaminated,
Oh,
which
no.
we already talked about the fact that they were having issues with maintaining them and cleaning them out, because even though they do reuse the dunder in their rum, they do have to clean them out and deal with that waste, and they were already having issues. I don't know if it was the last rum news or the one before.
I think it was a couple.
So add to that they get contaminated, and now they have to throw that out and start from fresh. So I'm sure if you haven't noticed, there has been a shortage of Ray and Nephew. So if you do see Ray and Nephew,
scoop it up.
Yeah. That was really disheartening. So we definitely need to keep an eye out for those distillers that are close to hurricanes.
Yeah, hurricane
Pretty
areas.
sad.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe that they affect everything so much.
Paul says, ironic that we have a drink named after hurricanes. Yeah, but that's because they're so prominent in these areas.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely.
Like, it wouldn't be, the Gulf or the Atlantic coast without a hurricane drink. Because what are you going to drink at a hurricane party? Obviously, you want hurricanes.
Yeah, hurricanes are delicious.
Before we keep going, can we get another drink?
We can. What do you want to do?
I don't know. Let's try the pumpkin.
Okay.
Let's pop that bad boy
So,
open.
super excited for you to try this. This is a seasonal rum. It is pumpkin pie flavored. I know some people in the chat, all the rum nerds are probably, the rum snobs are screaming at me. But it is 30...
I mean, she herself is a rum snob, but sometimes we like to have a little fun.
No, I'll drink anything. I'll just have to try it. It's just...
We'll try anything.
Like, for example, this coffee rum...
It's not super sweet.
It's not sweet at all.
Yeah.
And
she doesn't like sweet. I like sweet.
Like, I like sweet, but I don't want to feel like I'm drinking syrup.
Right.
That's where I draw the line.
Yeah, exactly.
So Loaded Cannon, really cool. They have a lot of fun stories in the back. So this one says, the golden age of piracy was between 1650 and 1720. Thousands of pirates roamed the seas. Many of the sun coast of Florida joined the crew of the great ship Loaded Cannon and journey back in time, while you'll learn some of the forgotten stories worthy of being told. So this one, yeah, so it's 35%. As far as I remember, it wasn't that sweet, but you definitely get that pumpkin though.
Yeah.
Let's hear the pop. Kind of weak sauce.
I was gonna say,
the corks are fake.
Yeah.
So that might...
I feel like the tiny little coffee one had more of a pop.
It did.
Now.
It definitely did. But this one's fake too.
I know this El Dorado is going to have a nice, good pop to it.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, River Pirate joined. Welcome.
What's up, River Pirate? Okay.
Phil says he's the rum snob, unfortunately.
Yes, he is. He's like, ew, Nia, you're going to buy that bottle. And I said, I love pumpkin. Everything.
Right, I know. I don't know why that's so surprising. And then Paul said, OMG, a pumpkin rum. How dare you?
Guys, I love Halloween, so we gotta.
It tastes like pumpkin icing. Like if you were to have like a cookie or a cupcake.
You mean it smells like pumpkin icing?
What did I say? Taste?
It tastes.
Pause for comedic effect. No, yeah, smells. It smells like, you know what I mean though, pumpkin icing?
Yeah.
Like if you were to have a cupcake
but
or
it's
a cookie,
really good.
It smells like icing. It smells very sweet.
Phil, what's the name of the distiller? I can't remember. Is it Eric? Shoot. I feel so bad because he's so freaking nice. We went there and we were just...
To Loaded Cannon?
Yeah, we passed by on the way down from Tampa.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's just swing by. He was so nice. He gave us like a 2-hour tour.
Aww.
We were barrel thieving out of his barrels. He's like an older gentleman, but he was getting like on all fours, getting into like where he had all these crazy barrels. He's like, no, you gotta try this, you gotta try that. So obviously we had to support him.
Phil says they have a super cool shirt too. I'm guessing there's a story behind that.
Yeah, so funny story. I got a t-shirt and it's this on the front it obviously says Loaded Cannons.
Right.
On the front. And then on the back it's a pirate woman, like a sexy pirate lady, sitting on 2 cannons.
I love that. That's so
I know,
cool.
I had to get it. Okay.
Of course. Cheers.
Prepare your shots. Cheers, everybody. That's delicious.
That is... It smells so much sweeter than it is.
Right,
It
yeah.
doesn't taste as sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that went down a little bit of the wrong tune. Ryan says, I don't care what rum heads say. Pumpkin pie rum sounds amazing. Yeah, this is actually really freaking good. Excuse me.
Oh my god, I did not remember that. That's really freaking good.
Oh. Wow. That actually is really good.
I know. It's so good.
I think it's like just sweet enough for me and not overly sweet for you. It's a great middle ground.
And if you hate pumpkin, this has got a hint. It's kind of like
Steve Milligan, that's the guy from Loaded Cannon.
Yes, Steve. Oh, he's the best. I don't know why I said Eric. Okay, go drink some water. Do you want some regular water?
It's okay, I'm good. Continue.
Someone please call 911 for Nani. Okay, that was delicious. For Nani. Yeah. So
that was really good.
Yeah, and it's crazy. He. If you go there, honestly, go prepared because he has the most extensive amount of liquors that I've seen at a distillery. He does rum.
Yeah.
And rums of all ages and finishes and flavors. He also does limoncello, Sicilian style, which is phenomenal.
I think limoncello originates from Sicily, doesn't it?
Well, Sicilians make it a different way. That's why
Italians.
I specified that it's
Sicilian
than regular Italians. Yeah.
Fun fact. If you ever go to Brazil. And
they have limoncello too?
Well, I don't know. They probably do. But I was going to say, if you want like a yellow lemon, like what we have yellow lemons here in the U.S. versus the green limes that we know.
Yeah.
If you go, I don't know if it's the same in Hispanic countries, but in Brazil, if you ask for a limon, it's usually a lime. You're going to get a lime. In order to get the yellow, what we know as a lemon here in the U.S., you have to say a Sicilian limon. Limon Siciliano.
Okay.
That's the yellow one.
See, in Ecuador, we don't even have
That's why I think limoncello originates from Sicily, if I'm not mistaken.
That
makes
sense.
Originates there.
Who knows?
I could be totally pulling this out of my ass.
She might be.
You won't know unless you Google it. You'll believe
the
me.
More you know.
You say something with enough confidence, people will believe you.
Fake it till you make it, girl.
I've come to find that if you say something with enough gusto and oomph, people will believe it as a fact.
So the next very interesting thing I wanted to talk about in Rumonomics was the continuing battle with Havana Club trademarks.
Girl.
As we all know, and I'm glad Paul's in the chat. Hopefully he's listening because he actually interviewed the Arechavala family, who was a family that escaped Cuba, the original...
Part of the exile?
Yeah. They were the original owners of Havana Club, and we heard some crazy stories from them, which was
awesome.
Which was very, very interesting.
Yeah.
But basically what they're talking about is that they established the No Trademarks Honored in American Act, which basically gave Bacardi the final straw here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And gave them all the rights for the Havana Club trademark. Now...
I was going to say, let's backtrack a little bit.
Yes.
Because I didn't know this, and I'm sure other people probably don't know this.
Yeah, talk about the things that you didn't know, because I'm
sure, I didn't realize, like, to me, Bacardi, I think, it's a Puerto Rican rum. I didn't realize Bacardi actually started off as a Cuban company. They got exiled from Cuba and, reestablished in Puerto Rico, so they are now the Puerto Rican rum that we know. So the Havana Club that we know here in the U.S. is Bacardi, is from Bacardi, but there's the Havana Club that is Cuba-based. I did not know that. That's why there's this big back and forth. Is it Cuban? Is it Puerto Rican, Bacardi?
Yeah.
Like, why is there the Havana Club that is here, but then there's a Havana Club that's in Cuba that you can't get here? Like, what's the difference? That's the difference, is that Bacardi took the name... but Cuba kept the recipe.
Well, in this article, they don't talk about something that not a lot of people do, and I think very few people know this, including Paul and I know about this because we talked to the Arechavala family. But basically, the story goes that when the family was leaving Cuba, Bacardi offered to buy the recipe from Havana Club, and they did. So that's why Bacardi claims that they have the original recipe. But if you ever try the Havana Club from Cuba, which we have, and you compare it to the Havana Club made from Bacardi, it's very different. Now, the reason why this is coming up now, too, is because of the embargo that we currently have with Cuba, and the U.S. kind of feels that Havana Club was basically taken by the Cuban government in 1959.
Yeah, like seized illegally.
Yeah, seized illegally. So they're trying to like basically peacock and say, no, we're going to give Bacardi the rights for the trademark itself.
Yeah.
Now, what's very interesting is...
I mean, no bias or anything that Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory.
And no bias or money involved with the fact that they get all the money for the cover over. If you're not familiar with that, definitely do your research because they get a ton of money from any bottle that's imported into the U.S.
So, even though it's a U.S. territory.
Yeah. So they get the money. That's why you see so much marketing from them is because they have the funds. Same thing with Captain Morgan, so on and so forth. But another thing that I thought was interesting in the article that I didn't know was that the company that brought Havana Club into the U.S. and into a global scale was Cuba Export, and they actually managed to get the U.S. patent for their version of Havana Club in 2016. Now, here's where the problem lies. With this No Trademark Honored American Act, the problem is that their renewal is coming up in 2026, and with this act, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with their patents. So stay tuned, stay alert, turn on all your Google alerts for the Havana Club.
It's literally all over the news right now. You Google rum news, you open up any kind of rum associated website.
But it's huge
Havana
too.
Club, U.S. v. Cuba, U.S. Cuba v. Bacardi. It's all over the place. It's pretty big, especially because I didn't even realize. So I knew that the embargo had been lifted against Cuba a few years ago. I didn't realize it got reestablished.
Yeah, it was during the Obama administration that he opened up and lifted the embargo.
Shows you how much I'm into politics.
Yeah. And then when Trump came back, he obviously put the embargo again, and now with Biden it kind of stayed steady, and now it's back to being the embargo. Sorry, let's go to the chat.
No, it's a little side note. Ready Set Rum says, yeah, Ray and Nephew is very hard to find today. Phil did say you guys tried over about 16 different Loaded Cannon whiskeys and rums. Most
we're not lying. Like when you go to Loaded Cannon, prepare yourself because...
Yeah, go on a full stomach.
Go on a full stomach and a lot of water and pacing yourself because...
There's a lot. And then Jason River Pirate says, I used to wait on the Bacardi family. The heart is kind of blocking what the rest of it says. At a bistro he worked at while in college in Jacksonville.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's something they bottle Bacardi in Jacksonville. That's cool. I didn't know that.
I wonder who bottles them. I wonder if it's Manifest.
I mean, they're pretty big up in Jacksonville, so maybe. Yeah, so stay tuned. Havana v. Havana, essentially. Havana Club v. Havana Club.
Yeah.
Battle of the wits. We'll see who wins out in that.
Battle of the true recipe, but I don't know. I prefer Havana Club from Cuban.
Yeah, it's delicious. If you turn back to the early, it's going to be 2 years next month that we've been doing Rum News.
Really?
2 years.
Oh my God, we should throw a party.
End of March.
Come have cocktails with us at Swizzle. When is our official 2 years?
I think the 24th of March.
March?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody.
24th, 25th.
Everybody prep. We're gonna throw a little party.
Well, so one of the very, very early episodes of Rum News, we had the Cuba Havana Club.
Which I always get. My parents, when they come back from Ecuador, I'm always like, hey, duty free. Hook a sister up.
Because Ecuador doesn't have an embargo on
Cuba.
I
know. So lucky.
So what else we got for Rumonomics today?
And then the last thing from Rumonomics, and we'd love to hear from everybody on any of these subjects, obviously. That's why we bring it up. But the last thing was Canada. The 25%.
Our neighbors to the north.
Yes. 25% on tariffs imposed on Canadian.
Because this was fucking delicious. And anybody who knows me knows I don't like pumpkin, and this is fucking delicious.
I told you. Oh my God, I'm so happy.
Good. And I don't like pumpkin, y'all, and this is freaking delicious. And they're local. They're only like 3 hours away.
Yeah, so definitely go visit them. But basically, the 25% tariff that was imposed on Canadian products caused now Canada to react to that. And they pulled 155 billion
with a B.
Yeah,
with a B.
B worth of American products Ontario was the first one to actually single target basically
US
Republican-led states, and
yeah,
Republican, like, red states is what they called it, and they, just Ontario by themselves, they said that they were gonna get rid of $1 billion of American alcoholic beverages, including from their catalogs, which means not even local restaurants,
nothing,
or other liquor stores
pulling from all the shelves. And that's not just spirits, that's wines, beers, seltzers, everything that's produced in the U.S. basically. And unfortunately, other provinces are following suit. British Columbia, Montreal, they're all following suit. So
it'll be interesting to see. I know there is a couple of backtracking on this thing, but it'll be interesting to see what happens is another 6 months, because I'm assuming with them pulling all of this, let's figure what's really going on in another 6 months.
I also read that along with, liquors, spirits, wines, beers, etc., they're going to start pulling other products.
Oh, yeah, products. Like I read peanut butter, pulp paper, which I'm assuming is things like toilet paper. Like, really, peanut butter, and there was another product that was, so freaking random. I was like, those two things don't go in the same thing, but... Yeah, you'd be surprised what America
really
produces.
Really random stuff like that. They're just taking them off the shelves completely. It's not like, oh, find them in the black market. I mean, you probably could. Black market's the black market for a reason. Go in that dark web. Slide in there. Slide in those DMs. But yeah. Whoo! It's a tough economy in the North Americas. Let's go to Europe, y'all. They know what's up.
So, speaking of new stuff, let's talk about new releases. So, do you want to start?
I will start. Just real quick, Phil says the distiller of Loaded Cannon, Steve, is a chemical engineer, and he's really good at crafting these rums and whiskeys. So, side note, if you're in Florida, hit up Loaded Cannon. Get a tour, try out their stuff.
And if you're in Florida, download the Florida Distillery Trail. There's literally an app, and it'll show you, right now I think there's 63 different distillers, which a lot of them make rum. I am at 23.
You've had a few of them.
I think I'm at 23 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Ish. There's a lot.
But they pop up all the time.
Yeah.
So new releases. I'm going to have a little shot of this. Grab your phone.
Yes. Okay. So, are we going to go one for one, or do you want me to do a couple?
Yeah, let's do one for one.
We're so rusty, you guys. We change it up. We keep you on your toes. All right, Black Tot. Black Tot, we've mentioned it many times. You actually had the kit for them, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, with the Florida Rum Society, they had the breakdown of how they made that year's blend, which was amazing. And it was with Mitch. Love you, Mitch. He's the best.
We like Black Tot around here. So Black Tot came out with their historic Solera rum. So it's rums from Guyana, Barbados, and Jamaica, aged in their 3-tier process. 70-year-old sherry. I know that says cask, but for some reason it says ask. It was late when I was writing.
Late night.
It was late. I was writing these. I was so tired. Solera system. So 40% of it is between 3 to 5 year Guyana rum. 35% is 5-year Barbadian rum. 20% is unaged Guyana rum, and then 5% is 3-year high ester Jamaican. And so it's 46 strong sherry, but Solera, whatever. The way it was worded was very weird. I was like, okay. Aged in Oloroso and PX sherry casks for 2 years. So that's the first one. There wasn't any information as far as ABV, price, bottle, nothing like that, but something to keep an eye out for Black Tot. We are big Black Tot fans around here.
And I'm going to get a bottle this year, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I did speak to Mitch last time I saw him, and I said, Mitch, we got to get you on the channel, broski. And he said, absolutely, I'll get a bottle, and then you can come on and join the crew.
Phil said, am I going to need to pick you girls up?
Probably, Phil. Probably. Call a wambulance.
Should have come here, Phil. See? You're MIA.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Missing in
So
action.
if anything looks or sounds like crap, please bring Phil, because he ditched us.
He's literally our like video, audio producer,
director, lighting.
He's all the engineers, executive producer, PA.
We're just the talents, but today we had to do it all.
We're literally just we're the cute faces, and he's all the behind the scenes, and he just literally left us in the lurch and said, "Figure it out." So if anything sounds off, sorry, Phil, you're getting thrown under the bus for this one.
Right, so a little bit late to the party, but I wanted to talk about a new RTD from a influencer called Krista Horton. She's coming out with Horton RTDs. What was interesting that I saw was that she's coming out with an RTD that has Diet Cola, a lime soda, and a pineapple one, which seemed pretty cool. She's like a lifestyle influencer. You knew about her. I did not, but she looks like the typical like lifestyle.
I used to follow her back when she was still in the 6-figure followers, like literally like hundreds. She was in the low follower count for an influencer. Yeah. And I loved her because she was like 0 F's given. Like she's got messy bun. She's in sweatpants. She's like, my house is a mess.
Yeah,
like,
now you see it.
Freaking gorgeous.
And it's the opposite, right?
Like, well, no, it's like she's still like that, but like, of course, there's like the publicity shots and stuff like that. But she's still very like that's one of the reasons I liked her so much is because she was very much herself,
just
like
herself.
Her and her family and her husband and her kids, and it's like house was a mess, didn't matter. Her house is freaking gorgeous.
Where does she live? Do you know?
It was, at the time, I want to say it was in Texas.
Oh, cool.
No, I'm sorry. Bakersville, California. I don't know if they're still out there. I stopped following all influencers on social media because I was like, I don't need the backhanded fucking slap across the face about why these people are making millions literally doing nothing.
And also, a lot of the stuff is fake, so take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, so, I just stopped following anybody I didn't actually really know except for like funny meme pages. Yeah. Anyway, side tangent, whatever. But I liked her because I was like, she just seems like so real and down to earth, like sarcastic, dry humor, which is right up my alley. And she always promoted like her drink and beverage when she'd go out with her friends and stuff was like Malibu and Coke or Malibu and Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi or whatever. So when when I read Horton RTD, I was like, and then mentioned Krista Horton. I was like, wait, this can't be the same Krista Horton. No, it was the same Krista Horton. I guess she came out with a line. Because I remember a couple of years ago, before I stopped following her, Malibu was, sponsoring ads and stuff. Like, they had a collab and stuff like that. Because she always mentioned Malibu. She had she was always wearing Malibu sweatshirts. Coincidentally, the funny thing is, another side note, sorry. It's lots of tangents. It's been a while since we've done this. I saw a meme once that said, like, oh, I saw somebody wearing a Malibu, like a sweatshirt that said Malibu, and I was like, wow, that person's an alcoholic. Before I realized that it's an actual location and realized that I am, therefore, the alcoholic. I was like, that's something I would do. Yeah, I would read Malibu and be like, oh, wow, they're wearing, like, a brand of rum. Like, that much? It's like, oh, wait, it's an actual place.
That sounds accurate.
But so I was kind of excited for her to see that they have this coming out.
And what I was really surprised too, and you were too, that is made by apparently Florida Caribbean Distillers, which claim to be the largest distiller
in the U.S.
of rum in the U.S. And I was like, wait, what? And
we were like, we've never heard of them.
Yeah, I've never heard of them. But anyway, interesting. Their cans look really cool. The graphics look very, very young. It made me feel like, I don't know. They had like some cute flowers and stuff.
I think she's a couple years younger than me. I think she's like
the pineapple 30s. One looked like flowers, but they kind of looked like cut up pineapples, which I thought was really cute. Yeah. Anyway, really girly RTD.
Yeah. So,
what's your next new release?
Okay. We've mentioned the Rolling Stones rum before.
We have.
Crossfire. If you guys have tried it, let us know how it is. Let me see.
I saw it in Total Wine, and then I saw it was $32, and I'm like, I refuse to pay.
But we knew it was that, but it's different seeing it in person.
Sucks?
I know. I feel like it's going to be sweet.
I don't know.
For me, I'd probably like it, but I think for you, it's going to be too sugary. So now, there's a brand. It's called Brands for Fans. They partner with bands and come out with different types of liquors and stuff like that. So they have partnered...
That is very interesting. Brands for fans.
Yeah, so they partnered with Skid Row for all you 70s and 80s fans of rock music. Skid Row.
Like a hairband, right? It's like like a metal hairband.
They came out... Wait till you hear the ticket price for this shit.
Okay. Oh, gosh.
Wait, just wait. I was like, I had sticker shock.
If it's anything like the Rosalie Bay, I'm like, I
had sticker shock.
Okay, go ahead.
So they came out with one called 18 in Life to celebrate their 18 in Life album that I think is celebrating the 18th anniversary, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a single origin ultra platinum rum. 18-year expression combines Guianese distillation with European aging. It's 45% ABV.
Okay.
Surprisingly, they also partnered with Kiss and came out with one called Hotter Than Hell. I was like, oh, that's fun.
Wait, is it a rum?
Yeah.
The Hotter Than Hell?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Paul, you'd love all of these. These are like right up your alley.
Sean says, early morning, gotta run. I'll catch up with the rest tomorrow.
Bye,
Sean. Thanks for joining in. Okay, you ready for the sticker shock for Skid Row bottle? Between $90 to $100.
Oh my God, that's double. I thought you were going to say $50 and I was going to be like, yep.
$90 to $100 depending on where you're getting it. The most I saw was like $118. The cheapest I saw I think was $92.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a pretty penny.
I'm wondering if you're paying just for the name or if it's actually
or you must really like Skid Row.
Like legitimately good stuff because it's like...
How good could it be, though?
Like, you're paying that for double-digit aged rum. This is like a white rum.
Yeah.
What?
Disappointing.
Yeah,
anyway, we will not be buying that. If you do, please send a sample.
Sticker shock.
I can imagine
when I saw that shit.
Holy crap.
Jason says, I think Florida Distillers is located near Auburndale, Florida, between Tampa and Orlando.
That's interesting.
The one you mentioned.
Yeah. Okay. My next release is Kukri, which is Nepal's first distillery, but they've been distilling since 1959, and they use molasses. They're actually known for their Coronation rum, which is very interesting. Anytime you go here to the U.S. and you see a rum bottle that's the shape of a knife, that's this company. It's Kukri.
The shape of a Kukri knife.
Yeah. But they're coming out with this smoke finish cask, and they're only making 7,000 bottles, which I thought was pretty cool. Price range, when it's coming out here in the U.S., I do not know. But if you like Nepalese rums, that's right up your alley.
Yeah. Okay, next for me is Ron de Barrilito. Second edition of Pedro Fernandez Selection Rum, 27-year rum, aged in Oloroso sherry casks.
Okay.
No information regarding notes, tastes, ABV, nothing.
But Ron de Barrilito is amazing. It's so
she
good.
mentioned that.
I love it.
Only 229 bottles, so you know that shit's gonna be pricey. Whew. Yeah, it's going to be pricey AF, way breaking the bank for us. So.
Yeah, and this one I'm actually super excited that I'm going to talk about. It's going to be MOBA, which is a South African rum that'll be released by Holmes Key, who always puts out amazing product. They're an independent bottler. The name of the bottle is going to be the Sheldon. And if you're not familiar with MOBA, the owner gives an homage to the people that produce the rum. So the Sheldon is actually the name of the creator, which is really cool.
That's cool.
This one's going to be very interesting because it's going to be a pot still rum with very high esters. Now, they don't disclose the amount of esters, so...
Very high.
We'll see.
Expect some funk.
Yeah, some funk, but we'll see because when we went to Hamden and we went to... Long Pond and all those, we tried their high esters, especially at Hamden. We were very lucky that Jay from the Florida Rum Society, he prepped something for us that wasn't even for sale, but he wanted us to try at something at like over the legal limit in Jamaica. And it honestly was superb. It was ridiculous.
Even though, like, because we had a couple samples of
the
the Hamden kit.
Yeah.
The one that was, like, the highest, I think, we tried, and the lowest to compare. And the highest, I was like, oh, this isn't that bad.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy?
I'm very curious.
Like, it gets, like, salty and savory, but it's not
overly, like, powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, very excited for this one. This is also going to be an overproof rum, so let's keep an eye out for this one. I definitely want to scoop this up.
Moba. MHOBA.
Yep.
And it's like a reddish and off-white color.
Yeah. What do you have for your...
This one I am so excited about. If we can get our hands on a bottle, it'll be great. I've already reached out to my brother. So, for those of you who have been longtime followers, longtime listeners, we've mentioned this many times. It was Treasure Chest approved when she first tried it. Montaña Rum. She originally had the Valentia version in her treasure chest approved section. And we cannot find it down here. Distributors do not have it down here in Florida. But Montaña has released pineapple habanero rum. It's their first ever flavored rum. Now, we love Montaña for so many different reasons. They are all about sustainability. They are, they actually sold a lot of their shares to their employer, so the employers actually own the company. This particular rum is going to be their Platino base, and the fruit is actually hand-selected.
The pineapple?
Yeah.
Wow.
The fruit is hand-selected, prepped, and steeped locally in-house. And it debuts a new eco-friendly packaging which uses 100% recycled glass. It's about 40% ABV. So, super excited to try this. Super excited to get our hands on it. It retails at about $40 for the bottle, which is not bad at all. But if we were to get it shipped here from Colorado, which we will, I think it's about $20 shipping, which is reasonable, I think. I think you end up paying, between shipping and taxes, it's like $63, which is less than what we paid for the other bottle.
And the bottle shape is really cool.
It
looks like a little onion with a very tall...
Yeah, and it's like, so their first bottle almost looks like the shape of this one, but obviously bigger.
Like regular size.
This one is like a little more like a V shape, little like it's beautiful packaging. So pineapple got me, habanero got me. Like I'm a sucker for a good spicy sweet combo, so I'm
for sure
super excited about this and super affordable. What you got?
The next one I have is also from an independent bottler that caught my attention. It's Major Ariana. It's a wild fermented column single origin Oaxacan rum. So it's probably like a charanda. I thought that was really interesting because most of the rums from Mexico that we've seen are through Alambique, which are really really good. But I thought it would be interesting to see this, especially with the wild fermentation and being that it's column versus pot, because Alambique is all pot still.
Phil's asking how's that water, since apparently you're drinking only water.
I'm double fisting.
Jason says, wow, hot and spicy rum. Interesting. Another great episode. Always fun to watch. Weighing anchor mates. Everyone have a great night. Cheers, Jason.
Good night, Jason.
Okay, so my next one, speaking of Alambique, so it's perfectly, I swear we did not plan this, but we just aligned our notes. Alambique Serrano comes up with Alambique de Cobre.
Because we're professionals here. We know how to transition.
68.5% ABV for this one, pot still. Bottled at still strength. There's no water, no added sugar, natural fermentation. There was unfortunately not much more information than that, but it's Alambique. We know they're good shit from Mexico.
They're good Oaxaca. Shit, and their labels have all the information. The cane varietal, the fermentation, the yeast, everything. You got all the info on the bottle, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
The next thing I have is the Navette 1804. It's from an independent bottler, and it's a Haitian rum from the Claron region of Haiti. Mm-hmm. Funny story, all these new releases that we're talking about were also on the Booze Geeks website. He's been posting when the labels are approved by the TTB, so huge shout out to him.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting that they're just getting their label approved when they got invited to their release party like 3 years ago in New York. They're like, hey, we saw you have a rum channel. Do you want to come on over? I'm like, yes, but no. I can't fly to New York right now.
Jason said professionals. I thought you were Latin.
I don't know what that means.
Listen.
We're both.
No, not Jason. I'm sorry. Paul says. Paul. To you, I say. Good night. Thank you. On to the next. Sorry, we love you, Paul. So Oxbow comes out with Provost Farm limited edition unaged agricole at 45%. 100% of the proceeds of this particular limited edition is donated to the Provost Farm, which is a nonprofit company. And it's in Louisiana. It goes straight to Louisiana sugarcane, which I thought was awesome. And Knoxville
is already a single estate.
Right, exactly. Not much else information as far as to that, unfortunately, but you had us at 100% of proceeds get donated.
Very cool.
And False River, it's like Oxbow / False River.
And False River is their kind of like
sister / stepchild.
Yeah, it's like their stepchild because what's her name? And I forgot. I'm so sorry. The owner of Oxbow and the master distiller and blender, she basically wants to set apart her regular rums from her flavored rums. So if you ever see
False River,
most of the time False River's rums that are made by Oxbow are their flavored rums.
Which, interestingly enough, the next one is False River Dark. It didn't say anything about notes, ages, flavors, anything like that. It just said it's 41%.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And I have 2 last releases, and I'm leaving the best for last because we're doing a little experiment. But Pusser's Painkillers is releasing a non-alcoholic canned version of the painkiller, which Nani said, "Ew, no." And I said, that sounds amazing because I can grab the painkiller and throw my favorite rum in there. So keep an eye out for that. We'll definitely try that.
Yeah. I just thought it was weird that it came in like a can, like an RTD.
But no alcohol.
But there's no alcohol, which is fine. Like, I'll mix it with whatever, but like then put it in like a container, like a mixed container.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Yeah, okay. Like why is it in a can? I think it's a little misleading. But I guess it's like if you're like with a bunch of people and you don't want alcohol, then I don't know. I didn't get that.
Well, just remember, I think it's also catering to the new trend where a lot of people are
non-alcohol.
The younger population is more cautious of what they drink, like and alcohol. Yeah.
Again, if you're drinking alcohol, don't count your calories.
Yes.
Don't give a fuck. Just saying.
And then the last release I wanted to talk about, and the reason why I brought this specific last 2 bottles, is Plantaray Amaretto Cask Finish. Which, if you know of Amaretto, it is extremely sweet. This is going to be a Barbadian rum from 2017. They are partnering with Adriatico. It is going to be 7 months aged in the Amaretto cask, so a significant amount of time to, put that little sweetness to it. But as far as the rum itself, it's a blend of pot and column still rums that are aged 3 years in ex-bourbon and 3 years and 5 months in cognac in France. As we all know, Plantaray always loves finishing in France. And as far as the notes, it says that you're going to get leather and spice notes and a little bit of saltiness because apparently where this distillery is of Amaretto is very close to the ocean and you get some saltiness. So kind of like a salty caramel is what they were talking about.
I like that.
So on to my experimentation, guys. Super excited to do this. I've been thinking about this for quite a while. So one of my favorite rums that I have tried in the past couple years is this El Dorado Saturnus Casks, which is 43% alcohol by volume. And I was really excited to try the wine by itself. So today I found this bottle of Saturnus, which is a French wine.
Yeah.
And
apparently, it's a dessert. Is it a dessert wine?
Yes, it is a dessert wine. So we're going to go ahead and try this first and then try the rum and see if we can figure this out.
Okay. So while she's pouring that,
Do you have a clean glass?
Yes, this one's clean. I rinsed it out. I have a couple more new releases.
Oh shoot, sorry. I was I'm closing up shop.
You're,
Goodbye, everybody.
You're good. I'll wrap it up. These are pretty quick. One that we love, St. James. They're coming out with a Cour de Chauffe, which is a 60% ABV Rum Blanc Agricole. So it's a white rum agricole, essentially, said in French with a French accent.
Excellent.
No more information beyond that, unfortunately, but we do love St. James. So if you happen to see that, grab your hands on a bottle. And then there is a company called Mr. Daiquiri. They're coming out with 3 new ones, which we thought was so cool.
The design of the bottles are amazing. I just want the labels.
It's like 3, these particular 3, it's like tarot card based, and it looks like a tarot card design. So the first one is called The Lovers. So it's fruity, sweet, peppery notes, distilled and aged in Barbados, DR, Guatemala, Nicaragua, and Panama. 43% ABV. The second one is The Stellar, 40% ABV, molasses, sugarcane juice, with ripe bananas and grassy undertones, hint of olives, and salt in their tastes. And those are Jamaica, DR, Reunion, and Eswatini. I had never heard of that.
What is that?
It's a small little country in the southern Africa region. I was like, I had never
They're making rum there?
Yes.
Oh my god, we're going to have to keep an eye out because we hear these things.
Yeah, I was like, is this real? Yes.
A couple years down the road, it's like, oh, we're getting the best rums from this.
Yeah, and then the third one by Mr. Daiquiri is La Forza, 47% ABV, aromas of leather, toffee, tobacco, fruitcake, and marzipan.
Which that one is my favorite because it has a lion and a mermaid-looking redheaded chick. So we need to get that bottle filled.
Literally just for the label.
Just for the label.
And then the tastes are fruit, licorice, oak spices, roasted banana, mango notes. And that one is a combination of Barbados, Guatemala, Guyana, Jamaica, and Venezuela.
That sounds delicious.
All of them sound so freaking
good.
And then 2 more quick ones. Don Chignon is another Oaxacan rum from Mexico. White rum, 45%. ABV, made from piloncillo, which is a sweetener that's used in Mexico. And
from the agave plant, right? Is that what you were saying?
No, the thing that's the agave is the maguey. Which is used in like tequila and mezcal.
Okay.
But it's piloncillo with maguey is like kind of the flavor they're going for. So it's a rum, but it has like tequila kind of notes if you're a tequila lover. Same way a lot of rums cater to bourbon and whiskey. This one I guess will cater to tequila lovers.
Okay.
And last but not least, Blue Magic, which earlier she mentioned, Rosalie, it's actually Dominica's first premium rum, which was inspired by the Maroons of Dominica, which was their slave rebels. So it, quote unquote, embodies the spirit of rebellion. It's a Black-owned brand. So it's literally just a company I tried to get more information on. It's called Blue Magic. I tried to get more information.
Is it blue spelled differently? Is it like the French
It's
word?
spelled like blue cheese.
Like blue.
B-L-U.
Like the French version?
Yeah, blue cheese. So it's called Blue Magic. I tried to get more information as far as like, it's a white rum, but there wasn't any information regarding, like you go on their website, it's you see beautiful
generic
pictures of like the drink of
specific
cocktails and stuff like that, but there's nothing really about the actual rum itself. Lots of information about the history and about what they stand for, and it's like Black-owned company, but actually about the rum itself, very, very vague.
So they might be an independent bottle, potentially.
Yeah, so there's that. All right.
Saturn S. Nicholas 2019 from France. And this is an AOC, apparently. Appellation Saturnaise Contrôlée. So it's kind of like an AOC. And basically, this rum is aged in these kinds of casks, so I want to see. So on the nose, it smells like a fruity wine.
Sweet.
But
I mean, it's a dessert wine, so I would expect sweet.
But it kind of has that bitterness of kind of like tangerine.
I was going to say like a grapefruit.
Okay, cheers. Cheers. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yes.
We're about to close it out.
Oh, definitely a dessert wine.
Okay, but it's not as sweet as a port wine.
No, it kind of tastes like white grape juice.
Yes.
That's
really good.
It tastes like white grape juice. It's delicious.
Yeah.
I could drink it like a juice. I might take that bottle home if she lets me.
No. No, you're not. Yeah, wow, that's really good.
That's delicious. That is freaking delicious.
Okay, now to transition for my experiment, and now we're going to try a little bit of this. So I'd say if
Are we rinsing?
Yes.
Putting your phone down. No, it's alright. I'll just use this one.
Okay. Because I'm curious. I was like, how sweet is this one? How sweet is this wine? But it's honestly, it's not as sweet as a port. To me, a port wine is sweeter than that one. It kind of has like this tanginess of like a Pinot Grigio.
You think so? Like a dryness?
Yeah. No, not a dryness, but like a tanginess of.
See, I don't find Pinot Grigio tangy. I just find it very dry.
Oh my god, I love this rum. I haven't tasted this.
I think we either had it at the Halloween episode.
Oh no.
The cork broke.
Yeah, no, it didn't break, but it's disintegrating. Guess I need to drink this faster, guys.
I think we might have had this. It wasn't the Halloween episode. It was whatever we shot right before Halloween.
Okay.
I don't remember what it was. It was like some new reveal episode.
Okay,
and I think
now let's see if you can nose or taste or anything from the Saturnness. And again,
she's drunk, y'all. She's poured this shit all over the table. I whipped it up.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It smells like rum.
Yeah, and not so much on the
Smells
nose.
like the typical El Dorado stuff. But this is so good. I love this.
I guess the longer it aerates, I kind of smell it a little bit. Like the sweetness is coming through.
Yeah. Let's see if it says how long it's aged. No, it doesn't.
No.
Oh, no, it does. Okay, so this is an award-winning 15-year-old rum that has been beautifully enhanced by further seasoning for 5 years in casks that were previously used for aged Saturnness wine. Holy smoke.
So 5 years in Saturnness.
That's a long time.
So it says, hey, that's not your table. I kind of
It is for tonight, Phil. So it
was paid for.
It was paid for.
Until 20 minutes ago.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. A little bit of the sweetness comes through, but
yeah.
Not a whole lot.
No. For 5 years?
Yeah. It's good though.
This is a phenomenal rum.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not as sweet as the rest, right?
No, definitely not. Definitely, especially not. Even not as sweet as the wine. The wine itself was very sweet, which I like. I like sweet wine.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you,
we
guys.
We so appreciate you sticking all the way to the end.
We love you all. Thank you,
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up.
Yep.
Give us some love in the chat.
Follow our social medias if you don't already. That way you can be up to date on all the latest videos, news, subscriptions.
Yeah.
She's always hosting little competitions and stuff like that for you guys to win free stuff. So if you guys aren't subscribed, you're not going to know. So better make sure you're subscribed, following, liking, all the stuff.
Yeah, and the next Rum News will probably be the last week of March.
Yeah.
I'd say. So definitely.
Guess what? That's going to be 2 years. 2 years of us doing this ish.
Yay, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
So,
good night.
Good night. And I